number 19 on page 433. And number 19 says y equals -2 times 3 to the x power plus 5. And for these directions, we need to find the y-intercept, the domain, the range, and the asymptote, the equation for the asymptote. We also need to graph it, and we're going to use a table. So you want to have all of those things. I know it takes up a lot of room on your paper, but you want to have all those things. That's why we're going through these examples. I'm going to plug in my standard points, -2, -1, 0, +1, and +2. And I'm going to solve each of these equations when I plug in each of these numbers. So I'll plug in a -2 first, which is y equals -2, and 3 to the -2nd power, plus 5. That 3 to the -2 becomes y equals -2, 1 over 3 squared, plus 5. And 1 over 3 squared is the same as saying 1/9. So I'm going to take -2 times it by 1/9. That becomes -2/9. I'm going to add that to 5. And in my calculator, I'm going to put in -2/9 and then plus 5. And I get y equals, we'll put it in as this decimal, 4.8 approximately. That just gives me a point on my graph. -2, 4.8. And I can graph that on my graph. -2, 4.8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not quite to 5. Okay, when I put in a -1, maybe some of these you can do in your head. 3 to the -1, that becomes 1/3 inside there. -2 times 1/3, that becomes -2/3. -2/3 plus 5. That becomes 4.33 repeating. So I'm going to put in 4.3 in for my y coordinate. If I put a 0 in for my x, I would get 3 to the 0 is 1. -2 times 1 is -2. Plus 5 is 3. To the first power, 3 to the first power is 3. -2 times 3 is -6 plus 5. That comes out as a -1. And then 2, 3 to the second power becomes 9. -2 times 9 is -18 plus 5 is a -13. Okay, we're going to graph all these. So at -1, it's at 4.3. 4.3. 0, it is at 3. 1, it is at -1. And 2, it's at -13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we get that sharp turn up here, up by +5. And that +5 ends up being our asymptote. Whatever this number ends up being, if it goes less and less than -2, this comes out as a very, very small number. And then you multiply that very small number by -2. And when you add that to 5, it's still just going to be a pretty small number, small negative number. So it's never actually going to be a positive number. It's never going to go over 5 this way. So that's actually your asymptote. Y equals 5. Your range, y has to always be less than 5. Your domain is going to be all real numbers still. and your y-intercept is right here at a positive 3. Notice that's when you enter in a 0 in for your x input, and you get a positive 3. So that would be your final answer.